Yo, so this next one is Bleeding Audio. It's a music documentary. Kind of feel, I don't know. There's been we're what? It's just coming to the end of May, right? Already, I feel I've done more music documentaries this year than I did all of last year. I don't know. It's a crazy one. But yeah, this is a new music documentary, and it is from director Chelsea Krista. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? She also produced the film. Um, Aaron Parsley and Jeanette Bivona also produced. It's executive produced by Justine Cassidy and Stephen Wade. And it's about, well, the matches. So, Shawn Harris, Jon Devoto, Matt Whalen, Justin San Souci. You know what I mean? The film also has appearances from some, top producers like Nick Hexum, um, Mark Hoppus. Um, we got Justin Courtney Pierre from Motion City, Cassidy Pope, Ali Tabatabi. Um, and there's also Tom Higginson from Plain White Tees featured in the thing. We see also like Biffy Cairo talking and a few other people, right? So it is this yes, it's an interesting look. Interesting look, people. Right? And the gist of the film is this, right? Bleeding audio is told through the eyes of quirky, charming, and humble bandmates Sean, John, Matt, and Justin. It's an intimate portrait detailing the match's promising career, defeating breakup, and inspiring reunion as they reflect on what success truly means for musicians in today's digital industry. The match's story overlaps with drastic changes the music industry has undergone in the past several years. From declining record sales to excessive touring to illegal downloading and streaming, the documentary uses the match's history and recent reunion to dig deeper into the root of the challenges the average musician faces in the digital age of the industry and how artists can navigate their careers today. So, yeah, there you go, people. There you go, right? And it is it's a really interesting piece because it's not your straight up kind of talking heads. Now, we do have that thing, right, where you have the interviews with people and everyone's in a weird kind of location. You know what I mean? And you're just like, how did they decide we're going to speak to this person sitting on the side of a waterfall? There's no one sitting on the side of a waterfall, but you know what I mean, people. You know what I mean. But yeah, so we get that. But what really has this popping is the different styles of animation that is utilized to tell portions of the story. Right. So even just small little things like, so we went to band practice, and then you see like this van, like boo, 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 and then four little stick people jump in the van. Like sometimes, but then sometimes it's stick people, sometimes it's like more in depth kind of things that actually look like the bandmates themselves. So it's just these different styles of yeah, kind of a multimedia animation, right? Because yeah, you get like cutouts and plaster, plaster. Oh, oh, it's cool now. You know what I mean? When it's kind of like plasticine. But yeah, so we get all of this, and it's really it's got a charm to it. You know, it has you just in because the story itself is interesting, right? There's no like blah, 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 blah. No, the story itself is really interesting, but we've seen so many interesting documentaries that I think they can struggle at times to keep you because all it is someone sitting on a stool somewhere, right? And you're just like, I kind of need something else, some change here, right? But this one, it counters that with, these different ways of telling these aspects of this whole thing, right? So, it starts off with fans, right? So we see all these fans getting tattoos and just all of that. I mean, some of these tattoos aren't the best, you know what I mean? Some of these tattoos aren't the best. But yo, like someone who is willing to get that, you know what I mean? Branded with this thing. There is something to that, right? Because it shows this level of devotion, right? This commitment. Now, sometimes, yeah, that can be fickle as fuck, right? How many people do you know that have got like the name of a chick on them, or a name of a dude on them, and you'd be like, "Yo, who that?" And be like, "Oh, that was an ex." Oh yeah. Or oh yeah, that was I got that to cover up the name of. So you know what I mean? It doesn't mean it's forever, but just the fact that you're getting it is something, right? And it's kind of funny as well when the band are like, yeah, we don't really have tattoos. You know what I mean? So having all these people get tattoos of our band or pictures of us, it's kind of odd. You know what I mean? So yeah, like we get these kind of interesting kind of insights and kind of little nuggets of information. So we start off with that, and then it kind of goes into this band, right? And the fact that they went on a tour. They went on a fucking world tour before they even were kind of a proper band. You know what I mean? They hadn't really they not released anything but yeah, it all came about that this thing happened. Now you're gonna have to watch it to find out what the thing was. But yeah, so it goes from that to then them going, yo, this is what we want to do. And having these realizations and putting in the work to get to a place, right? And I think what I found crazy about this story is the fact that you can see this level of understanding in some respects. When they're talking about, as they had these shows, I think they called it what, L9s? I think it's L9s. It was L something, right? Um, these like, because they struggle to get gigs. So it's just like, you know what, we're just gonna do our own. So they found this guy that had this thing, and then they put on these gigs, right? And doing that, right, that shows something. You know what I mean? That shows this understanding, as well as the fact when they were, they were looking to get signed, and it got to this level where everyone is, people are hitting them up, and they're like, "Yo, you've got to come and see one of these shows." That that's huge, right? Because it's just like they knew that this is where they feel comfortable. right? You have these people that these fans that come out to see them every time. There's this energy in the room. It's this thing, right? So they know that, yo, this, oh, you will see who we really are here, right? Where some people will be like, oh, we can come to you and show you this stuff, or oh, we'll send you a tape, or no, they understood, what encapsulated them best, right? So we see all of these things, and it's just like that's real. I mean, understanding that early on, that's crazy, right? That's big. There's a lot of bands that you when you read and they didn't connect those dots at that early stage. So we have that. But then there's this other stuff that goes down, and you're like, whoa, wait, how did you not know that? Right? It's a funny thing because, I've always, man, just love music, right? So you listen to these interviews, you read these articles, just all of this stuff. So there's aspects of the music industry that I knew, right? That you're not making money off album sales, right? Touring merchandise, that's where it's coming from. You know what I mean? Like if someone, if a label says, "Oh, we're gonna give you $1 million to record this video," they're not giving you shit. You know what I mean? You owe them the money for that video, right? That's not like, oh yeah, this is a freebie. No, anything the label gives you, like we're gonna send you here, we're gonna put you up in these hotels, we're gonna do, no, that's you're paying for all of that stuff, right? So I knew that shit. So then when you hear like, the fact that they didn't realize some of this stuff, it's like, huh, that baffles me, right? Because it's like they knew this other stuff. They had this, you know, intuition around the way they needed to be in these other aspects of the industry. But then these bits, nothing. So there's this kind of interesting dichotomy around just everything that you're seeing and the journey these guys are going on. You know what I mean? Which yeah, is very compelling. It's very compelling. Also, their manager Miles, who isn't interviewed, and like I don't like, you know, it, who knows what happened, right? Was he available? Did he not want to do it? Like, what was the thing? But I feel it would have been so interesting to hear from Miles because some of the stuff that happened is a little crazy, but it 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 doesn't benefit him. So it's just like, so why was that? Huh? Right? And so it would have been just real curious to try and get some insight into some of these things because it's just like, yo, dude, like, what happened? What was going down? You know what I mean? And be like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. And be like, okay, all right, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, it would have been mad curious. Now, what I feel when they talk, in the blurb, when it's like, yeah, music downloads and everything like that, and these kind of things impacting the band, it did, but only because something, I feel like it only had this huge effect because of the thing that you learn later on in the documentary, right? If everything was done how it should have been done, you kind of feel that it wouldn't have been the same situation. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's an interesting like experience, but you kind of feel it could have been a lot smoother, only if, right? Only if. Like when I originally watched it was like, I don't read the blurb. Right? My girl AJ sent it to me, and yeah, of course, right? If AJ calls, you answer that call. And again, sent me a crazy, interesting one. I did fumble, man. I dropped the ball. I don't know how. Dropped the ball. Which is my bad. I apologize. But you know what I mean? I forget what I was saying. Oh my gosh. My memory is so fucked up lately, people. Oh my gosh. What the fuck was I saying? Huh. I have no clue. But anyway, yeah, it's this crazy interesting thing. And it's oh, that was it. I don't read the blurb. Yeah. You see, I always take a look. So I didn't realize that there'd been a reunion, but I think from the beginning you figure there must be something more, right? Because I think some of the shots that we see early on, it kind of speaks to more, right? Because you're not doing there's these certain things. I don't know. It's a certain look that you're getting, and it's just like like it makes no sense to do that if it ends with like we're no longer a band. You know, it will be interesting to because you know reading all the blurb and all of that kind of jazz. Like, so this kind of happened a while back. So kind of interesting to kind of see where they might be now, right? If they're doing new music, just all of that kind of jazz, because it does seem that there is this audience for them, right? So when you have everyone at the beginning going, the matches should have been bigger. They should have been like, will they be now? Right? I think that's the kind of real interesting thing that you wonder from all of this. It's just like if it wasn't achieved then, could it be now? You know? I do wish sometimes, like when we have these sort of things, and you have people going, "Oh yeah, like they could have been this, or they could have." If people could just elaborate a little on, right, like why do you feel that, right? Because we get the statements, but we don't always really get the why you feel like what makes them more than some of the other people, right? What's that thing? So yeah, I wish we get more elaboration on that. But yeah, no, this is a very interesting, solid documentary. I do feel that Shawn looks a bit like Will Wheaton. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it's just like, yo, that dude looks like Will motherfucking Wheaton, yo. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Don't listen to me. I can hardly see motherfuckers. You feel me? But anyway, yo, this is solid, man. It's a solid documentary. Well worth the look. You know what I mean? So you can pick it up on iTunes. There's the link in the information details. You know what I mean? And it's doing the festival circuit, all of that. I definitely, if you enjoy music documentaries, right? If you enjoyed, um, oh god, what was the one we checked out just recently? It was Sound of Anarchy, right? I feel it was Sounds of Anarchy. But yeah, if you enjoyed that, right? If you enjoyed Tramps, if you enjoy just any, Jesus music, any of these things that we've looked at, I think you are definitely going to dig Bleeding Audio, right? I kind of feel there's a kind of Green Day-ish, you know what I mean? Just in the lines of all those sort of bands. So if you like that music, yeah, you'll wanna check this out. All right. So yeah, Bleeding Audio people, well worth the listen, well worth the check, and hey, very inventively put together. So props to everyone involved.